once again, I have been reading a lot of manga. So here's the thing, with the whole quarantine thing, I've been getting really lonely. And so my regular shonen manga, my Hero Academias, my Leviuses, my Promised Neverlands, they don't really quite do it for me anymore, you know? And so I've been intentionally searching for manga that I would not usually read. And because I've been really lonely, that is going to heavily influence my recommendations for you. A lot of them are romance stuff. I'm sorry in advance. None of these are in any particular order, but beginning, we should start off with Tomoechan as a girl. In my range of how much I recommend Tomoechan as a girl, it's extremely high. This is a romantic comedy, a lot of comedy, very much comedy, but also some romance. Tomoechan, she is a girl, surprisingly, but she doesn't really act like it. She is very much a tomboy. She is more masculine than she really is feminine. And the thing is, this guy right here, this handsome devil, they grew up together. And she's now at the point where she realizes she actually likes this guy. She likes her childhood friend. Problem is, her childhood friend still doesn't really see her as a girl, because nobody does, really. And so she has to figure out how to actually get him to notice her in a way that's not a dude bro kind of way. And the thing that was weird for this one is that while I was reading it, the pages are all like a 4-coma. There's only 4 panels per page, and I thought, oh, okay, so it's just a bunch of one-shot skits per page, like a newspaper comic? No, it's the story continues page per page, but this is just the setup. So don't be deterred by this. I first saw this and thought, oh crap, I messed up. It is one whole cohesive story that just builds off of one another. Honestly, the simple setup makes it pretty nice. There are some pages where they kind of break it, like with this one where they kind of bleed over the panels. But this is one of those series where I got into it a bit late. There's, as of the recording of this video, 7 volumes that released, and God, I love it so much. This is one of the best series I've read. Number 2, My Androgynous Boyfriend. Not really much of a romance. Yeah, it is a romance. The weird thing is that it's not like the typical setup where it's like, oh man, I need him/her to notice me, or oh gosh, why won't they reciprocate my feelings? This guy is just in a healthy relationship from the get-go, and it's really sweet, and it's fun to read because it's cute. And the big struggle, the big problem is just this guy's kind of famous. He's this pretty boy right here. He's a model. A lot of girls, I can talk. This is not scripted. I'm messing up already. Why didn't I script this? A lot of girls kind of lust after him because for some reason, femboys have an audience. And for me, that's pretty great. There's only 1 volume released so far. The next volume's coming out soon, but so far, I love this. It's just such an easy read. The big problem is like, hey, I'm in a relationship with someone. Guys, I know that the whole thing is supposed to be, I can't say that I'm in a relationship with a girl because I have fans and that'll hurt my marketability, but like, I'm in love with her, so screw you. That's the whole volume. I just explained the whole volume to you. You can skip this. I just explained it all. You shouldn't skip it. I didn't really explain it all. I'm leaving out a lot of details, but that's basically what this is about. I honestly really like this. It's not my highest on my recommendability, but I'm really excited to read the next one. Number 3, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. Or Don't Bully Me, Miss Nagatoro if you read the translations when it was only online. I don't know what it is about this little gremlin bullying an elementary schooler, but goddamn, I am into it. So this is Nagatoro. She likes a guy. Are they elementary schoolers? Are they in middle school? I don't know. It's always hard to tell. They could be in high school. I think they're not in high school. I don't know anymore. She likes this one guy. He's a pretty big nerd, very, very introverted, and she it's easy to mess with those kind of people. I should know, I'm one of them. That's a lie. I am slightly more extroverted, and I shouldn't out myself that it's easy to mess with me this way. God, I'm probably digging my own grave. And at first you're reading this and you're like, man, she's really mean. She's kind of a horrible person. That nice little kid, he doesn't deserve this. But then you find out that, oh no, she's not just a bully. She just legitimately likes him and toys with him, and it's all a bunch of scenarios about how to get him, one, flustered, and two, how do I say this without getting demonetized? Getting him into slightly more scandalous things that push him just outside of his comfort zone. Not ridiculously outside of his comfort zone, but just enough to make him uncomfortable so that he can slowly get comfortable with her, and that's really her entire plan, but she's never going to admit that, and the entire journey is really, really funny. This is more of a comedy than a romance. Really, the most romance is in the first one when, you know, they have to explain to you, no, she's not just a terrible person. Honestly, I bet you guys this is a kink. This is probably a kink for some people. Oh god, do I have this kink? Please tell me I don't have this kink. Number 4? There's a demon lord on the floor. Literally, there's this little pipsqueak here. Looks like an elementary schooler, a lolly, that of which is actually a demon lord. She needs money, and she works at this place. And she finds out that when she eats, what's that, omurice? This fantastic dish, omelet thing, that only this one dude makes so deliciously that it restores her power and she becomes an incredibly attractive demon lord, her original form, until she's hungry again, and then she's back to being a lolly. And it's really a comedy. Like, this has the setup of, oh man, there's this one guy, and he's surrounded by a bunch of girls, and he's really attractive. But the joke is that instead of him being too dumb to recognize they like him, the joke is he's too good of a employee to be distracted by them. He's really just annoyed by them because he wants to get his job done. And I like that twist. It's not as infuriating. He's just a really good employee, guys. Yeah, there is some, sort of ecchi scenes in this, but it's really a comedy. It's just funny. It's just really funny. But it's not overtly fan service-y. It's just, hey, she's hot. Okay, let's move on to the joke. It's not romantic really at all in the slightest. It's funny. I think this is the only comedy series that I have to recommend. No, it's not. No, it's not. I have more. I'm looking at them. But for those of you that want some risque stuff, some good stuff, Meguru Hinuhara has your back. Now, this is not your typical Yuri. This is not your typical romance. This is not yaoi. This is boys love. Yes, I read boys love. I did it for you guys. I did it for this video. I found out I'm into this stuff. It's good. So what's the difference between boys love and yaoi? I don't really know. This was my first exposure to boys love, and just so you know, the first book that she has released, is it a she? That Meguru Hinuhara released is Secret XXX, which honestly should have tipped me off, including the explicit content warning in the corner, that of which I didn't see. I don't know why I'm dumb, but I am. Oh no, wait, no, I remember why, because I was looking at Therapy Game, and I'm like, that looks like a good artwork. Actually, the artwork in this is actually amazing. And they're like, hey, this is the sequel to this one. I'm like, oh, I should probably read this one first. And that's all the thought I put into it. And so I read this. It's kind of weird because these two don't center around the same characters, but it's in the same world. It's like, these are the main characters, these two boys right here, they're the main characters for this one, but then the background character, the side character, this guy right here, he's the main character for this one. And this is Therapy Game, and I don't know what the idea is gonna go for after this. I don't know what's gonna happen with these characters, but who cares? The concept for Secret XXX, I'm not gonna explain Therapy Game, because I wanna keep this video is already gonna go a long time, and I ramble a lot. But Secret XXX is that there's this boy. He's this cute little redhead right here. He really likes this one guy. And the problem is that one guy works in a pet shop, and he's allergic. He's really allergic, and he's been trying to hide it, and he just wants to work there so that he can be around the other cute guy, and he needs to figure out a way in order to work there and not die. And you eventually find out, oh man, that guy likes the guy back. Whoa. And I can't open this. It shows everything. It goes into everything, guys.
You're gonna see their disco stick.
But that being said, the story is still really cute. That's really the entire reason. It was just, my first reaction to reading this was, oh, how nice. Oh, that's nice. Oh, sweet. Oh. oh, that's nice. And that's basically my entire experience with it. And the artwork is legitimately really good. That's my big complaint about a lot of manga. If I don't like looking at the pages, I don't want to read it. So I can guarantee you all of these, the artwork in them, for my exquisite high palate taste, is going to be top notch. Hello? Now for another comedy, Plus Size Delph. This one's been making its rounds. I've been seeing this get slowly more popular as time goes on. It is not really hyper ecchi. It does have some etchiness, but the plot is there's this elf. She came to the human world, she discovered French fries. Now she's thick, and now she wants to lose weight. So she makes friends with this, I forget, is it a nutritionist? This dude who helps people get a better body and stay healthier. And it's just, honestly, a lot of it is just, hey, here's some exercises you can do if you want to reduce your arm flab, or if you think that your butt's too big. These are the exercises you should do. Now we get onto the funny jokes. It's just interspersed with a lot of just good advice. And that's half the reason why I justify reading this myself, just because it's actually informational, kind of, along with getting to see a bunch of thick girls. I'm not sure I can show that cover. I can probably show this cover, because she thick. It's really good. Shinek Doche knows what she's doing. It says older teen. You're gonna see some stuff. Not hyper XXX stuff, but for us prudish Americans, it's gonna be a hot topic. Next up is a series that is not a romance and is not a comedy. I had to throw this in here because it's Hat Atelier. This book is just a legitimately good story. And plus the artwork it kind of has this tarot card look to it. It's amazing and I love it. And I think more people should look into this book, especially because the story is legitimately great. Basically, there's witches. They're not really like the burn the witch kind of witches. They're just, hey, a person that knows magic, cool. And they have to keep the way that they cast spells secret to the entire world. This little girl figures out how they cast magic. And so she tries it herself and accidentally turns her mom to stone or crystal or something. She basically pseudo kills her mom. And so she becomes an apprentice in order to learn magic to get good enough to reverse unfreeze her mom. And she struggles because now she's an orphan adopted by a magic man, and he already has other apprentices, and so she has the problem of a regular newbie in the family. She's, some a little bit accepted, a little bit not, along with an evil magic organization, the flat brim. If you have a brim on your hat, it means you're evil. I don't know why, but that's how it is. And they're kind of messing with her, and they don't know why. And that's the big secret. The entire goal is to just explore a little girl's confusion and loneliness, and watch as she slowly becomes a better person, a more fully fledged witch, wizard, magic person. Her goal is very simple, all things considered. Save mom. That's it. It's not become Hokage, where there's a lot of steps you need to take and you have to challenge other people in order to develop yourself. It's, I don't care if I'm the best. I just need to be good enough to save mom. That's it. And that's what I like about the setup. That's what I like about these kind of setups, because nobody cares if she does it legitimately. Nobody cares if she screws the rules and manages to do some backwards magic that's against the law. She saves mom. That's the goal. Next one is another one that it's actually very popular underground, but for some reason does not have an anime adaptation. Comey Can't Communicate. Now, you've probably seen this on the Reddit sphere and people being really annoying about it, and I eventually decided to cave and read it. And at first I read it, and I hated it. And then I got really lonely because of the lockdown stuff, and now I love it. So if you're really lonely, you're gonna love this manga. That's a terrible thing to say. Basically, Comey literally, she can talk, she's not mute. She just has a lot of social anxiety and has trouble speaking. She's just way too nervous. And so the friend, Hito Tadano, it's a dumb name, I know. In the background right here, he's the guy who's like, you know what? I'm just gonna treat her like a normal person and help her through her problems. The entire class thinks Comey is actually like a goddess. Like, outwardly, her appearance and the way she acts makes it look like she's incredibly regal, incredibly well-maintained, but inside, she's panicking all the time. And for some reason, he's the only one that gets that. And it's really nice watching as Comey slowly builds up the confidence, and watching as she slowly makes more friends and comes out of her shell while also having a really tough time expressing how she feels. And it's just really cute. That's the entire series. I've only read 4. Everything else that I'm showing you, I've read the entire series. I just didn't want to have to drag all of them from my bookshelf to here. But this one I've only read 4 of. I plan to read the rest. Next up is another boys' love. Yes, I got another one, Given. Now this one isn't one of those highly explicit ones. There is no explicit content warning on this cover. Thank goodness, I would have completely missed it anyway. Basically, there's these boys. They're in a band. And there's this one boy who's like, I'm weird, but I have this super expensive guitar. And the other guys are like, why do you have a super expensive guitar if you don't even know how to play it? That's a lot of wasted money. So they start teaching him how to play guitar, but he's still really weird and he's really quiet. He doesn't really say anything. And they're like, why are you so mysterious? What is your past? But he's too afraid to talk about his past because it actually hurts really bad because his lover was killed. Spoiler alert, it's not that big of a spoiler, you find out in like the first or second volume. Was he killed or died? He died. I don't actually know how he died. I just assumed he was killed. Did they explicitly say that? So far it hasn't really been that big of a distinction in the story. Just lover died, therefore sad boy. That's his character so far. Also, the main character really likes him. Shocker. And it's a story about them learning to play music together and learning to get closer to each other. It's another pretty cute one. It's very tame. You're not gonna see any disco sticks in this one so far. There's only 3 volumes released. I lied. I only read the first 2 so far. I haven't gotten the 3rd one. I am a disgusting liar. You can dislike the video if you wish. I don't know. I lost count. Machi Maho, I messed up and made the wrong girl a magical girl. This one's a comedy. It's 100% a comedy. And some ecchi. Really, I can't show you the backs of these. Wow, I'll get demonetized. Why is so much manga ecchi? The entire idea is just to take the entire magical girl genre trope and screw it up. She's not frilly, she's not girly, she smokes cigarettes, beats the crap out of other people, and they accidentally made her a magical girl. She is literally the antithesis of what a magical girl is supposed to be, and she has the powers. Now she has to beat up a bunch of monsters, but honestly, she's kind of strong and capable enough for herself. She can beat the monsters without magical girl powers. But then other magical girls come into play, and that's when it gets interesting. This one's not serious. This one I don't highly recommend. It is fun to see them play with the tropes, but other than that, there's not really much substance to the story. It's purely a comedy. There's not really any higher goal or any real strong emotional stuff that they're trying to explore. It's just, how can I screw over these tropes in the funniest way possible? They sort of kind of hint at more, opening herself up a smidge, but then the joke comes in when she's like, hey, no, I'm not gonna do that, haha, fooled you, and then it reverts back to square one, and so there's not any real progress being made. So, yeah, it's hard for me to really recommend this, but I figured I should throw it in here just for something that's not romance and comedy and boys love. Now, for a romantic comedy, Gal Gohan. So do you know Gyaru gals? Imagine the 80s, but in Japan. That's what a Gyaru gal is. Not really, but I don't want to explain it. That's what this character is in Gal Gohan. So there's this gal, this girl you see right here, and there's this teacher that she's crushing on really hard. She really wants to just date this dude, but he's a teacher. He's her teacher. That can't happen. He'll get fired, but she doesn't care because she's kind of a dimwit, and all she knows is that she's hot, and she uses that to her advantage. And so what they do is they start a cooking club, and they're the only 2 people in the club. Whoa! And so yeah, a lot of the time the teacher's like, oh man, I can't believe this one student of mine is like this. And he feigns ignorance the entire time, and a lot of people say, gosh, I can't believe how stupid you are, she's obviously into you. But my guess is just that he's intentionally not vocalizing that she's into him because he'll get fired. And it's really funny seeing that dynamic. I have no idea how they're going to deliver on this idea because like they can't get together, he'll get fired unless he wants to be more scandalous and they start dating behind the scenes. I don't know, that hasn't happened yet. I can't tell you. It's just a bunch of funny scenarios where she tries to hit on him, but he can't actually accept that he's being hit on because of job. Now the last series I'm going to recommend is not a new series, but it is also a new series. Citrus. God, I love Citrus. Holy crap, I love Citrus. I've been exploring like a bunch of boys love and a bunch of regular romance stuff. It's about time we get the Yuri. And this is one of those series that if there was a list, this would be number one, because the moment I started reading this, I could not stop. I was buying all of them. And so I have read all of them in a very short amount of time. So chances are you already know Citrus. But in case you don't, here's the setup. There's this one high school girl, she's new, she likes to, you know, dress up, paint her nails, do general girly things, except that she can't do that at her new school and it really bugs her. And so the other girl is like, hey, I'm gonna be mean and take your phone away because you're going against school rules. And so she gets home and finds out, oh shit, I have a stepsister because my mom just remarried. That girl is her stepsister. And the worst part is she saw her making out with one of the teachers behind the school and she goes, oh my God, why is that happening? And then when they're, you know, oh God, there's only one bed. They have to sleep in the same room next to each other. And then she's like, haha, I saw you doing that thing. That's a pretty bad no-no. What's it like being kissed? And she's trying to throw it against her, but then her stepsister she just kisses her. And that's the kickoff to the entire story. And then, you know, they start developing feelings for each other, and then it slowly evolves into you find out why she was making out with that teacher behind the school, and it slowly builds up from there, and it's a complicated situation. It's not just a simple love story. One girl trying to discover her own sexuality, while the other girl is pretty comfortable with her sexuality for the most part, but is just drenched in a lot of familial responsibilities that she feels like she has to undertake. And that's holding her back from having an actual relationship. And it's so well done. Guys, please, for the love of God, read Citrus. I don't care about the anime. The anime was boring. I stopped at like the second episode. The manga's great. And the reason I said it's old, but also new, is that they recently started Citrus Plus. They started publishing more. This one was released in February of 2020. I dated this video. I think I dated this video at the beginning of this video, but I dated this video again. It takes place not immediately after the ending, but just before the ending, if you know what I mean. They're still in high school. That's how I'm gonna phrase that. That's a non-spoiler thing. That's probably a spoiler thing. I'm sorry, I'm bad at this. So that's all the manga that I recommend to you. There's a lot of good manga. Please don't judge me on my recommendations. If you have any recommendations yourself, please tell me in the comments below. If you take anything away from this, read Citrus, Tomoechan, and Don't Bully Me, Nagatoro. Those are good. Those are really good. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay beautiful and keep playing.